What's good, YouTube? It's Kairos Cuts, and we back with another haircut tutorial video. Today we're gonna be doing a taper, but with curls on top. This is my brother Chad right here. Now I ain't get a chance to cut his hair last time, so I'll make sure I get him right this time. I'm sorry for the wait too, cause I know I told y'all I was gonna try to get a video out, at least one video every week, but I'm back on it. I got y'all. First, you know we gotta start with the shampoo and conditioner. This is gonna make the entire cut more easy. Gonna remove all the dirt and oils out your hair, help you get a cleaner blend in a faster time, and also a sharper hairline. Now while you're shampooing hair, you wanna make sure you really get in there, really scrub out all that dead skin and all that dirt. And for the conditioning part, I just more so massage your scalp, try to get it back moisturized. You know we can't cut wet hair, so now we gotta dry it. And while you're drying it, you wanna try to comb all the hairs back down in place. So when you do start to cut it, everything's already set right. To start with the back tape, I'm gonna set in my first guideline, which is gonna be my ball line with my Cordless Andis GTX trimmers. These trimmers are 0 gap, but they're not my sharpest trimmer. Start this fade off with my wall seam is closed. These clippers are 0 gap. I'm gonna tap that bottom line. After that, I'm going to come back with my lever all the way open without the guard and set in my second guideline. I'm going to pass over it a couple times too, just to make sure everything even before you move on to your next step. If you watched the last tutorial, you already know how we take out our open lever line. We're going to start out closed and then notch all the way up until we back open. And as you fade, you won't have like a sort of pace with it, so I'm not rushing through my steps. So when I see the line move a little, I'm going to open up the lever a little bit more and start to move up. Keep everything consistent and just stick to your steps, and the fade will start to come together over time. All the way back open, and I'm just cleaning up that line that I set in at the beginning. After you went through all the steps, now it's time to do your detailing work. You're just going to be getting rid of any dark spots, any imperfections that you see within the open lever line. This is your detailing time. Now whenever blending long hair to the short hair, especially with curly hair, the hardest part is to create a smooth transition. So you're going to see me like throughout the video, I'm not just combing the hair straight down, I'm more so raking it. Because I'm trying to stretch out the curls and make them lay down. Because I'm not trying to create a hard line separation, I want a smooth transition from that long hair to that short hair. Take your number 3 guard closed and just flick out. We want to smooth out that bulk, and we starting the fading process. We're gonna be down fade from our big guards to our smaller guards. You see, we taking a couple strokes using the flick out motion. We don't want to dig into the hair, and we raking the hair back down, laying it in place with our comb. Now we're gonna turn it around. We're gonna go with the grain. We're doing this just to lay down those curls some more. We're going to start off with our number 2 guard open. We're going to do the same thing that we did with our number 3 guard, flicking it out, but we're going to do it right below the area where we was at with our number 3 guard to create that transition. Now you're going to turn that around and go back with the grain to lay down those curls again. We're going to do this with all of our guards. You can close the lever up a little bit too to create some more transition. We're about to start with our number 1 guard, and we're going to start off closed and work our way to all the way back open, just like we did our open lever. We're just tapping that line with our 1 guard closed, just trying to soften it while we continue fading up. And I'm working with a brush instead of a comb right now, because I'm not trying to pull the hair down. I'm trying to make sure all the hair laid down, because I'm working in like the area to where the hair is already cut low. You see we still working through our notches, keeping everything consistent. Now we detailing with our number 1 guard. You can do this throughout the entire fade with any guard of your choice. All I'm doing is picking out dark spots, creating a smoother transition. Starting off with our number 1.5 guard open. Now we just blend in that bulk to the short hair, you feel me? Going with the grain, trying to lay down all those curls. We already prepped it by down fading. We're just gonna keep everything the same. Now we're using the same flick out motion but against the grain because we're not trying to put in another line, we're trying to take out a line. So we're gonna use most of our corners instead of the whole blade. Now I'm using my razor comb to soften up the bulk. If you don't have a razor comb, it's alright. All you gotta do is use a clipper without the guard and rake down. It's time for your half guard. Now this is gonna be the finisher for this back taper. I'm gonna start off open and work my way closed. And you see we using our corners because right now we just in the detailing process. Because the fade basically done, we just clean it up, bringing everything together. Right now I'm just prepping the hair, really sculpting it, trying to create shape. Now we're gonna use our one guard open and still flicking out around that ear. You're gonna see me turn it around and go with the grain because I'm trying to make the head lay down more. Come back with your clipper all the way open and you're just gonna rake around the ears, and this is the last step for our headline prep for the back. Take your number 2 guard open, and now we're getting into that side taper. We're just gonna be flicking out, taking away some of that bulk. And you can open and close the lever wherever you see needed. The lower I go in my fade, the more I'm gonna close it. The higher I go, the more I'm opening. Come with your 1.5 guard open now, and you know we down fading first because we want that long hair to lay down and transition smooth into that short hair. And we still flicking at it right under where we were at with our number 2 guard. Remember, you gotta keep the comb moving, knock away all those already cut hairs, and pull down them curls. Taking that same 1.5 guard now, and we just prepping our headline because you want that hair to lay down flush. You don't want it to be hanging over your headline. I'm not digging in it too much, I'm just lightly going against the grain, creating shape. I go against the grain in that corner too, just so I could get a better visual on how the lineup gonna be looking before I do it. Chain clip around to go with the grain, that's gonna help us get a smoother transition too. And you can also play with your level. Like I said, the higher up you go in your fade, you want to open level more. The lower you go, you want to close it up. Got our trimmers now, just clean up his face. He's not trying to grow a beard or nothing. And we setting it out with ball line. This is gonna be a real simple taper. I'm not setting in a crazy guideline, just a straight one. Already know we're gonna take our 0 gap clipper, tap that ball line just to soften up a little bit. Then we're gonna open it up to set in our open level guideline. Keeping everything consistent. I told you gotta have pace. You know, we're not rushing the blend, just watching it come together, going over it a couple times to make sure it's even too. To take out this line, we're gonna start out closed and slowly work our way all the way back open. I probably click the lever about 3 more times. Right now I'm just flicking through my levers, detailing, looking out for any dark spots, any ways I can make our open level guideline cleaner, get out any imperfections. Gonna be fading up, starting off with our number 1 guard closed. And just like we did with our last guideline, we're gonna work our way until we back open. Every time I open up the lever a little bit more, I'm gonna go up higher in my tape because I'm trying to create that transition. You know, and the more I close it, I'll come down. But I'm fading up right now. Now I turn around my clipper and just rigging it, trying to make everything lay down. Before I go into my next guard, I'm taking time to detail, you know, get out any imperfections. Taking 1.5 guard close and go against the grain. Now that's gonna help bring that number 2 guard and that number 1 guard together. last step of this table, we're gonna take our half guard open and hit right at that line that we had put in with our open level. This is a guard that we're gonna do most of our cleanup work with. You're gonna see me do a lot of level play. It's just trial and error. I'm trying to figure out what level is gonna work to take out this dark spot to help me soften up this area of the blend. Come back with your clipper, no guard if you don't want to, and just do a little bit more corner work with it, trying to get this table as clean as possible. Now it's time for my favorite part, the lineup. Now we already did all our prep work, so all we gotta do is grab our trimmers and our comb and get straight to work. Trying to keep everything natural though too. You don't gotta push your client back to get a sharp line. Make sure you keep a comb or a brush in your hand, because you're going to constantly knock out those already cut hairs, and pull down the little straggler ones so we cut them too, and make sure that we get a long lasting lineup. The back lineup had Canon get a nice, and we kept everything natural.
First, I fuck them up real good with the 1.5, and then I come back with a 3. After I come back with a 3, I fuck them up real good again, but then I do another cleanup job with the 2. Stay tuned.
I can't make this shit up. Back to the... Everything we did on the right side, we're gonna do the same on the left side, keeping everything natural, keeping our comb moving, trying to get the sharpest line up that we can. You know, around the ears, I'm just using mostly my corners and not the full blade, because I don't want to take off too much hair. I even give them a patch by accident, like, you know, I'm just trying to be safe right now. About to prep the hairline, coming with our 1.5 guard open and going with the grain. I'm not digging into it. I'm just, you know, still trying to create shape. I just want the hair to lay down a little bit more. Turning it around and going against the grain to cut off some of those overhanging hairs. Take your number 1 guard open and just go down with the grain too. Do not dig into it, just barely tap it. Just need to cut it down a little bit more. Time to get this facial right. We just knock it down a mustache. We'll come back with our trimmers and line it up real quick. I ain't doing nothing too crazy on it. Just trying to keep everything natural. Around above the lip too, make sure not to push it up too high. You want it to be as close as possible to the lip. You don't want the mustache to be looking like it's floating over the lip. And when I line his chin hair, even though you don't have like a connecting goatee, I like to almost shadow it. I just like how, you know, it be even on both sides. For the front lineup, now I lost like 30 seconds of footage. I don't know how, probably I got deleted by accident, so I didn't get like when I really started it. But you know, as you can see, we're gonna start in the middle, work out with both sides. Now for this curve, I like to just tap it a little with my corners and then go to the other side and kind of just watch them come together. It's almost like I'm just connecting the dots. You know, the biggest thing is we just keeping it natural. Like everybody can't get that super sharp hook curve, but fortunately for him, he can. He got a nice grain of hair, so I'm able to give him a nice C cup. Sidebar, you're just gonna tap it a couple times. I got a brush in my hand right now. Normally I have a comb just to pull some of that hair out. And also on the sides, you know, make sure that the hair placement is right, because some people hair grows back towards the ear and some people hair grows forward. So that's how you need to be brushing and combing it while you're lining up. Doing the front lineup, I like to check both sides to make sure I'm keeping everything symmetrical. So like I said, I'm gonna start in the middle, I'm gonna work my way to the left side, I'm gonna work to the right side again, and then I'm gonna pick a side to finish. Me, I always pick the left side first. I don't know why, that's just my preference, but see, we keeping it natural, just slowly tap. And for the corner, I'm gonna do the top of the lineup first and then just make the sidebar connect. I feel like you get a sharper corner whenever you do that. Now it's time for his right C cup, and we're gonna do the same thing that we did to the other one, keeping it natural. And you see he already have a decent C cup shape, so I'm just following that and making sure it's still symmetrical to the other side. Time for the sidebar. We're gonna brush it in the direction it naturally grows before we hit it with our trimmers. Back to the top, I'm going to finish up the right side. Now our whole left side already done, so all we gotta do is make this side match up to that side. As I'm hitting it with my trimmers, I'm constantly checking to make sure that it's even, make sure that I don't have it leaning down on this side, and that I'm not pushing it up. Make sure you got that comb in your hand and pull it down the straggly heads and knock out all those already cut heads. You see this lineup coming together nice. We ain't even put no enhancements on that. We still got it dark and full, and that's how you want it. Now it's time for the enhancement. I broke my airbrush gun, so I can't put the semi-color on them, but for fibers to get the job done. So with enhancements, the goal is to keep it looking as natural as possible. Like, you don't want to overspray it. Sometimes a little take you a long way. I don't like the Topic like heft fiber pump. I feel like it don't really have a good mix with it. So I like this one. I feel like it put just enough and you can be more precise with it. Make sure I put all the tools and stuff I use in the description. We're keeping everything consistent, keeping everything the same. As I'm doing the fibers on this side, I'm still checking on my left side to make sure, you know, it's not too light or it's not too dark. I want everything to be even. I think this low-key satisfying to watch, like just how the fibers is, you know, filling it in and making it a little darker. And I ain't using too much. And now I'm just double checking, making sure, you know, both sides even. I know on the left side I sprayed a little bit more. Grab any kind of aerosol hose and spray to lock it in. I know some people use the wet spritz. I just prefer the aerosol cans. I feel like they dry quick and they really give it a good hold. I use Tresemme number 4 or 5. Anyone works, you know. Just make sure it's like a dry spritz. Make sure you use a card too, because you don't want all your products getting all over your client forehead. You want to try to keep everything clean. I came back with my blow dryer on cool air to just lock everything in. Now I'm coming back with my trimmers to just clean it up. All the hairline prep that we did in the beginning paid off. We got a solid foundation right here. This haircut should last them a couple days, like at least 5. Now you gotta come with your razor. It's that finisher right here. This is gonna give you the extra pop for your hairline by cutting down all those stubble hairs or hair that the trimmer can't catch. Just gonna do a couple passes. We're not trying to overdo it, because remember, this is a blade, so every stroke you take with it is taking off another layer of skin. We're not trying to cause our client any unwanted irritation. Lately, I really just been using towels to dust off my client, whether it be, you know, residue, hair, or whatever. I feel like it's a little bit more cleaner than a neck duster, and it just grabs the hair better. It's a little more sanitary. Alright, y'all see the smoke coming together. We keeping everything the same with the razor, going against the grain. We going with the grain. We trying to make sure it's lined up on 10. Now it's time for the sponge. Put a little leave-in conditioner in my hand just to soften up the hair a little bit. And I think I might come back with some curling gel if I get out of sponge and go to work. Can't leave my dog out here with the Steve Harvey bush. So, you know, in the beginning when I was talking a lot about shape, this is why you want to create shape, because you got to cut it right first before you style it. By us taking our number 3 guard and contouring around the ear, when we come back with the sponges. This is the beginning right here. This is how my dog came in here. He was looking a little rough. I ain't cut him last time, so I said, you know what, I gotta get you right, bro. I appreciate y'all for making it to the end of this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. This is the cut. Smoke, man. If y'all learned something, comment below. Whatever kind of videos y'all want in the future, let me know. Appreciate y'all for watching this. Thank you.